There's a really interesting thing going on right now with duplicate licenses and manufacturers. When a manufacturer gets a winery or a brewery license, that's their master license wherever they produce the product at. In addition to that, under California law, you can apply to get a duplicate license for a branch office or a branch location where you don't manufacture from, but you conduct other aspects of the licensed brewery or winery business. In the case of wineries, it's very common for them to have a duplicate tasting room license so that they can, if they have a remote winery location, they can put a tasting room in a much more commercially viable location where there's heavier traffic. Wineries are allowed to have one duplicate room in which they allow tastings and sales to consumers. In the case of breweries, they can have as many duplicate licenses as they want. And this is becoming a significant issue in the industry at the moment, because right now there are a number of breweries that are getting duplicate room, and they're opening up tasting bars and locations in multiple locations. And it's causing some heartburn among the wholesale tier of the industry. There's a chance that the legislature will look to put some, there'll be some pressure on the legislature to put some parity in place, so that the breweries don't start to abuse this. You open up a little tiny brewery somewhere and then all of a sudden have 50 tasting rooms in which you're just supplying your own beer. That's going back to the model of the tied house, that most of the tied house laws that were in place to prevent the vertical integration of the alcohol industry were put in place to prevent. So there's a good chance that there could be a legislative push to put some limit on the number of duplicate branch offices that a brewery can have in which they allow consumer tasting. If it was just a branch sales office to support their mission, they have a brewery in Southern California and they want to have a sales office in the Bay Area, that's not the problem. It's where you're having a lot of brewery to consumer sales, and they are abusing, in some people's perspective, that ability. So I think there's going to be potential legislation in the future on this issue, but it's streaming to heat up. We'll see if it really becomes a problem or not. But at the moment, that is a really cool thing you can do with a brewery license, is have a number of branch offices where you can sell your growlers and other products to go without actually having to build another brewery at that location.